Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. So this is a very auspicious occasion, according to our scriptures also. Here in chapter 4, verse number 41 says, chapter 6, that Prapya punya krutam lokan ushvita shaswati samaha shuchinam shrimitam gehe yoga brashto abhijayate. He who has fallen from yoga obtains the higher worlds, heaven, etc., to which men of meritorious deeds alone are entitled, and having resided therefore countless years, takes birth in a house of pious and wealthy man or aristocratic family. So some of these words are very, very important here. Shuchinam, Srimatam, etc. So, a practitioner following the path of knowledge, devotion, meditation or action, and whose mind gets diverted from the goal at the moment of death due to faults like restlessness, etc., worldly attachment, physical ailment, and other such causes is known as fallen from yoga. The above verse says that such a man attains the higher worlds to which men of meritorious deeds alone are entitled, and subsequently takes birth in a house of a pious and a wealthy man. From this, it is clear that he or she neither goes to hell nor takes birth in the lower form of life. But it may be contended here that celestial religions, which are inhabited by men of meritorious deeds, as well as the households of wealthy men, around in objects of enjoyment, so that one who goes to these regions or takes birth in such households has every chance of getting attached to sense enjoyments, and may also take to sinful deeds later on for obtaining such enjoyments. Both these states being thus instrumental in bringing about one's downfall are virtually nothing short of an evil destiny. Right? So there is a pap and punya. These two words are most important here. How we accumulate the pap or punya, the pious activity or impious activities. So what happens that manasa vacha karmana. Manasa means mental, vacha means verbal, and karmana means bodily or physical. So body, speech and mind are the organs through which physical, vocal and mental faculties are exercised. Those organs themselves are insentient and are not able to exercise their capabilities in absence of soul. So, interaction of soul with those organs continues to take place so long as one is alive. It would not be possible for anyone to prevent the acquisition of karmas, good or bad. As such, only undue exercising of the faculties can be deemed as causing pap or punya, pious or impious activity. In other words, one acquires karma when he exercises his faculties with attachment or resentment. The wholesome exercising of those faculties lead to meritorious karma, which is known as a punya or pious activity. While the unwholesome one leads to pap or sinful activity. The activity undertaken with good intention is termed as wholesome exercising of faults, and that undertaken with bad intention is termed as unwholesome. Worship, helping, charity, etc. are wholesome physical activities, while violence, stealing, etc. are unwholesome activities. One speaking truth, adoration, etc. are wholesome vocal activities, while lying, abusing, etc. are unwholesome one. Sympathy, compassion, etc. are wholesome mental activities, while jealousy, evil attitude, etc. are unwholesome activities. So, resulting from wholesome activities is a punya, and that resulting from the unwholesome one is a pap. So this punya and pap, meritorious and unmeritorious karmas or activities are thus the components of a two-sided coins. It should, however, be noted, according to Bhagavad-gita, verse number 38, that no worldly activity can be entirely wholesome or unwholesome. Some sorts of merits as well as demerits are associated with every activity. The difference lies in the degrees. If meritorious activity is higher, the activity is termed as a wholesome, and if unmeritorious one is higher, it is termed as unwholesome. So examples are given. If there is a fire, there has to be smoke. The fire is covered by smoke. And if you see any reflective surface like mirror, is always covered by dust or dirt. The embroid covers the womb, and living entities are covered by the lust. So, again going further, there are some defilements that we have to know. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mad, Matsar, Irsha, Maya, Moh. What are they? Lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, jealousy, deception, delusion. These are the main types of defilement. When one undertakes the activity under influence of such defilement, the purity of soul is affected. Now, we have to have some tapascharya or some austerity. And they are called yam and niyam. What are they? Ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, and aparigraha. Non-violence, truth, non-stealing, celibacy, and non-possessions are the 5 major restraints. Non-observer thereof leads to involvement in violence, lies, stealing, sex gratification, and acquisition. So naturally, the girl born today in a Brahmana family, they have in their blood all these kind of qualities that no one will have to teach them. From birth to death, they follow these principles. The guidelines given by the Guru, Gauranga, and Lord Sri Krishna, the regulative principles, they follow all the time, husband, wife, their children, everyone. So basically, rag and dvesh, attachment and aversions, are the mind-defiling instincts. If one likes someone or some person, he develops attachment for that and craves to have the same continuously or repeatedly. That term is known as raga, means attachment. If, however, he dislikes the same, he resents it and tries to get away from that, that is termed as dvesha. These two aspects take the form of anger, pride, deceit, and greed. If an activity is undertaken with any of those instincts, that would lead to unmeritorious karma. Now, we have a body and we have all kind of senses and sense objects. Skin, tongue, nose, eyes and ears are the 5 sense organs with which one can experience the sense of touch, taste, odor, sight and sound. They are therefore called object of senses. The interaction of mind with the sense objects is going to occur. Whenever the sense organs come in contact with the respective objects, that is where someone may enjoy or may not enjoy. So, I'll give you some examples. Number 1 is, so far as skin is concerned, elephant is the best example. What happens that elephants like the female elephant, and as soon as he sees the female elephant, then it runs behind the female elephant because he likes to touch her. What happens that those who are running the circus, they need elephants and horses and all those animals in their circus. So what they do, they dig a hole in the ground and they spread some kind of grass on it. And beyond that, they put a picture of a female elephant. The real elephant is coming, looking at the picture, thinking that there is a female elephant, and is running over to reach her. Meanwhile, there is a big hole in the ground with just the grass on it. So he trips and falls in the hole, and he's trapped. And these circus people, they catch him, tie him by the ropes, and make him dance every day. So this is what's happening when you want to satisfy your skin. Another is the tongue. The fish likes to eat. That's the best example so far as tongue is concerned. So what happens, that fisherman, he puts a little bait, this little bait which is actually moving on a steel rod which is very sharp, and the fish thinks that, oh, my food is there, right? And he's trying to bite, and as soon as he bites this bait, then what happens, that in the jaws, that particular steel rod gets stuck and the fish is caught. And that's the end of it. The fisherman pulls him out of the water and does whatever he wants to do. So the thing is, this is the way when you want to satisfy your tongue, that's what's happening. But this Brahman family, Gaur Kishore Das, right? Gaur Krishna Prabhu and his wife and children and everybody, they will offer the prasad to Krishna and they will chant Sharira Vidya Jal, right? The beautiful prayer that this particular tongue is voracious and it cannot be controlled, cannot be satisfied, and that's why we have to eat only Bhagavad Prasad and nothing else. So these children who are just born, when we grow up, they will also have the same habit of offering and eating, and that way they will be safe. The third example of his nose. The nose would like to smell something wonderful. So the bumblebees are always running around the flowers and fruits and all delicious things that can give them the aroma to enjoy. So that's why what happens that, let's say there is a lotus flower. The nature of the lotus flower is that in the morning, as soon as the sun arises, the lotus is actually is opening up. And at the night time when sun is setting, the lotus flower is actually closing. So the bumblebee knows that this is what's going to happen. Still, once it enters the lotus flower, the bumblebee is not able to leave the flower because she wants to enjoy every bit of the honey that's available there. And eventually, that flower is closing on the bumblebee and it gets caught up. So, this is again an example. Ratrir gamishyati bhavishyati suprapadam basvan udeshyasi hasishyasi pankajashri ittam vicharati koshagate dvirepe ha hanta hanta nalinim gaja ujjahar. So, what happens that the bumblebee inside, which is trapped inside the lotus flower, thinks, Ratrir gamishyati. The night will go 7-8 hours. What's the big deal? I'm trapped, I'm prison. That's okay. But I still have the aroma, I still have the flower, I still have the honey to drink. So why don't I spend my time here instead of thinking what's going to happen or whether there is going to be sunrise or no? So this is Bhavishyati Suprabhadam. The next day, Suprabhadam, the morning will come, the lotus flower will open, and I will be free, and then I will fly away from this flower. But what happens? That ittham vicharati koshagate dvirepe ha hanta hanta nalinim gaj ujjahara. Gaj means elephant. The elephant is coming walking towards the lake and sees the beautiful flower, lotus flower, and it picks up the flower, uproots the flower, throws it in the sky and steps on it, and along with the flower, the bee also dies. So this is again, because of satisfying the senses, listen what happened to the bumblebee. And then the butterfly always like to enjoy the forms, especially something light. The butterfly sees, it will fly over it and sit on it. But the thing is that sometimes we have a ghee lamp, for example. Arti is there and the butterfly is attracted and try to sit on it, and right away the fire burns the wings of the butterfly, and that's the end of the life. Cannot have any active life after the wings are burned. So, and then finally the example of a snake or a deer. Snake and deer, these are the animals who would like to enjoy the music. We also see so many snakes in the subway also, like they have this machine, a cell phone connected with the wires and the earphones, and then they keep shaking their body, and at the tune of the music, as if they are dancing and enjoying it. So snake has the same tendency of listening to music. Deers, they also have same tendency of listening to beautiful sound. So the people, those who are like snake charmers, they would like to catch the snakes. So they go to the forest and they play the music, some kind of flute or some kind of sound. The snake is coming and start dancing in front of them. Now you should know one thing, that the snakes have one sense which gives them the sight, and the same sense that they have helps them hearing. So one sense, one hole or two hole, whatever they have, either snake can see, once it sees, snake cannot hear anything. And if the snake is hearing something, he cannot see anything. He has one less sense in its body. Either you see with that or you hear with that. So beautiful music, snakes, they decide to listen instead of what's happening around them. So while they are closing their eyes and dancing in ecstasy along with the music, the snake charmer is extending his hand, grabs him by the neck, and then puts him in the basket. And the rest of the life, he is in the basket, the snake, and he has to spend the life. So these are the things. The Brahmanas exactly know how to use their senses. And that's why I said that the girl is very, very fortunate. And here says, Shuchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Brashta Abhijayate. Now, we already saw the whole arrangement. I don't know whether you were able to listen, but we started with Chatur Varnam Mayasruttam Guna Karma Vibhagashaya. That the four orders of society, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudras, were created by Lord Sri Krishna, classifying them according to the mode of Prakriti, predominant in each and appropriation, corresponding duties to them, through the author of this creation, know me, the immortal Lord, to be a non-doer. So Krishna is non-doer, with other people are always in either a mode of goodness, mode of passion, or mode of ignorance. So Brahmanas are always in the mode of goodness. So that is why Gaur Krishna Prabhu and the family, they ran this Long Island temple. Finally they came here, and they are helping us wholeheartedly throughout the year, no matter what kind of event we have. We also saw this Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vishang, Shudranam, Cha Parantapa. The duties of the Brahmana, the Kshatriyas and Vaishya, as well as of the Shudras, have been divided according to their inborn qualities. So this is where we started reading this. And the next verse is most important because it talks about Shamo Dhamma Tapa Shaucham Kshanti Arjamevacha Gnanam Vignanam Astikyam Brahma Karma Svabhavajama. Subjugation of mind, senses, and enduring hardship for the discharge of one's sacred obligations, external and internal purity, forgiving the faults of others, straightforwardness of mind, senses and behavior, belief in the Vedas and other scriptures, God and life after death, etc., study and teaching of the Vedas and other scriptures, and realization of truth relating to God, all these constitute the natural duty of Brahmanas. So, this is very important. What is a Shama? What is a Dhamma? What is a Tapa? What is Shaucha, Kshanti, Arjava, Gnana, Vijnana, Astikyam, all that. So these are the, what we call it, Shara Sampatti. Shara Sampatti means these are actually wealth. The Krishna is the richest person, is the husband of goddess of fortune. And he has all kind of opulences. So the sampatti is called the opulences. And these qualities of Shama, Dhamma, Upapati, Shraddha, Samadhan, all that we see in a Brahmana family, they are known as a Shata Sampatti. And how they come? They begin with the Viveka. The Vivek means discrimination between the real and the unreal, as well as between the eternal and the fleeting is called Viveka. If something is in front of you, the whole world is made out of duality. Something may be real, something may be unreal. Something may be eternal and something may be passing or temporary. So, a Brahmana's nature is full of viveka. He knows discrimination. He knows what is real, what is not real. He knows what is eternal and what is not eternal. And second quality is also there, which is dispassion or vairagya. So what happens that once you know what is real and what is not, then once the real is shifted from the unreal and the eternal from the passing, with the help of discrimination, attraction for the unreal and the passing naturally ceases. This is what they call a vairagya. So once you understand this is real, but that is unreal. So will you go after unreal? No. So that is a vairagya, that is this passion, that I don't want something unreal. Once you know this is eternal, but this is just passing, temporary thing, will you go after that? No. So that is known as a vairagya. So then, shama, the first word was shama, that was a quality. And complete subjugation, quietness and stillness of the mind is called shama. If you read Bible, they asked Jesus, how do we know you? And Jesus said, be still and know me. Be still. Just like you see the waves in the ocean, they come and go and up and down, and there is no stillness at all. 24 hours a day, the water is not still at all. But sometimes you see in a shallow swimming pool, the water is still. You can see the sky, you can see the sun as it is, or moon as it is, or stars as it is, or a tree as it is. Right? The reflection is so clear in the still water. So that is what Christ meant. Be still and know me. Your heart and your mind should not be turbulent. It should not be wavering. It must be still. And that is shama. And that is the first quality of a Brahmana. Then Dhamma means complete mastery over the senses. Like I just mentioned about different examples of eyes and nose and ears and skin and tongue and all that. It can drive you to hell. But once you know the consequences, then you try to control it. And instead of senses controlling you, you start controlling them. And that is the Dhamma. And Brahmana doesn't have to even practice for that. A child born is with these qualities. So congratulations, Gau Krishna Prabhu and the family, that you have this granddaughter for a Krishna conscious society. This is the biggest assets. Prabhupada wanted everyone to become a Brahmin. And we don't have even 1 lakh of initiated disciples or devotees. The world is filled with billions and zillions of living entities. And what to speak of, we don't have even 1 lakh of Krishna conscious people. And that's why even a single Brahmana born is a great joy for us. Now there is another thing you have to know is Uparati. Withdrawal of the mind from the worldly objects. That is known as a Uparati. Not simply externally, but internally also you give up those things, those kind of desires. The mind should never think of even the rare pleasures of Brahmaloka or the seventh heaven with intent to enjoy them. This is what is known as Uparati. I want to go to Svargalok, the Indralok, and enjoy this. I want to go to Brahmalok and enjoy this. I want to go to Chandralok and enjoy this. Or Varunalok and enjoy this. They offer different kind of enjoyments. But for me, I'm a devotee and I'm satisfied by chanting Krishna's name, by eating Krishna's prasadam, and living in the temple or coming to the temple and looking at Srila Prabhupada's deities or Radha Krishna's deities. I don't need anything else. So that is what called a Uparati. And then comes Titiksha. Titiksha is to rise above the realm of the contraries and look on them as a dispassionate observer. What are the contraries? The heat and cold, the right and wrong, white and black, right? All kind of dualities, they are contraries. And there is no way out. The world is full of that. Every single thing you know is having duality. And the devotees should rise above the realm of those dualities and to look on them as a dispassionate observer, that you are detached from that. I have no interest in you. And just be gunatita, or rise above the modes of goodness, rise above mode of passion, rise above mode of ignorance, and become a gunatita. Next is the Shraddha. Shraddhavan labhate gnanam. The unceasing faith in the existence of self is a must. Right? If you don't have faith in what is being read through the scriptures, if you don't have faith in this deity of Srila Prabhupada or Radha Govinda, and you're just doing it for the sake of doing, imitating others, or just to look better or go along with the society, if you are doing that's not the right thing, you must develop and cultivate a Shraddha, a real faith in the self itself and also in the temple atmosphere which is being offered to you. Then comes Samadhan. Samadhan means total absorption of mind. So absorption of mind and intellect in God is known as a Samadhan. And here, a best example is given of Arjuna. Arjuna was tested by Dronacharya. Not only Arjuna, but 100 Kaurava as well as 5 Pandavas. He calls every one of them because he had taught them the archery, how to shoot the arrow. So they said, this is the test. Everyone bring that bow and arrow, and tomorrow we have the examination. So everybody is practicing target and become expert. And Dronacharya knew that every one of them, including not only Pandavas or Arjuna only, but all the Kauravas also know how to shoot the arrow. Examination was just an excuse, just to know this thing that we are reading right now, Samadhan. What is that? Concentration. The total absorption of mind and intellect in God, that is a Samadhan. So, they call everyone, and Dronacharya puts a little bird on one of the branches of the tree. And then he says, I want you to shoot the eye of that bird that you see on the branch. The tree is right there. It has a beautiful branch, some leaves, some fruits, some flowers, some twigs. And the bird is sitting there. And it's a fake bird, it's a toy. But still it's visible, and they could also see the eye of the bird. And they said, that's it, that's our target, we are going to shoot it. So Dronacharya is asking everyone, what do you see? They say, well, we see the tree, we see the branch, we see the twigs, we see fruit, flower, the bird, the eye. And Dronacharya says, okay, step aside, next. So next person will come, will give the same kind of answer, what do you see? And he will describe the whole scenario. Dronacharya will say, okay, step aside. Now, last person was Arjuna. And Dronacharya prayed that I hope Arjuna at least answers the right question and right answer. So he asked Arjuna, what do you see? He says, Gurudev, have patience. I will tell you what I see. But I will also describe what eventually I see. He said, what do you mean? He said, right now, I see the tree from top to bottom. I see the branches. I see the leaves, the fruits and flowers. And I also see a bird that you have put. And I also see the eye of that bird. But now, I don't see the tree at all. I don't see the twigs and leaves and fruits and flowers. I even don't see the branch. All I see is a bird. And wait a minute, Dronacharya, my dear spiritual master, I even don't see the bird at all. I only see the eye of the bird. And I'm going to shoot it. And Dronacharya says, shoot! And he shot the arrow, and arrow reached to that fake bird's eye, and the bird fell down. And he said, you passed the test. This is what it is. This is a vairagya. You look at the world and try to know the world. What is real, what is not real, what is eternal and what is passing. And then you pick what is right, throw away the wrong. Pick what is real, throw away the unreal. Pick the eternal and throw away which is passing and temporary. And then shoot your arrow. Make it goal, make it a target for yourself. Arjuna passed the test. Because when you focus on Krishna, you also see, oh, Mataji is there. Oh, Prabhuji, I never see you after a long time. Hari Hari Bol. 500 people are here, and man is just looking around. Oh, that my friend of mine comes after 10 years. Prabhu, come over here. I want to talk to you. I got some business with you. Right? They don't see Krishna anymore. Well, the eyes are on Krishna or Radha, whatever. But the thing is that in the mind, those 500 people are in the mind. And that's why they fail the test. Not today or tomorrow, all their life. Every Sunday, every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whenever they come, either for Mangala Arti or Shrungara Arti or Rajbhog Arti or Sandhya Arti, whenever they come, they fail the test because they are not focusing. You should be focusing on Krishna. And once you see Krishna, then rest of them, the whole world, you have to dump it. Just like Arjuna said, that all I see is the eye of the bird and I don't see anything else. And that is a samadhan. So Brahmanas are trained. Brahmanas are not practicing this way. Because of this kind of knowledge, they always focus on Krishna. And even if something is around, they are aware where they walk, what they do, what they speak. Yes, you have to be aware of this world around you, but does not mean that you have to focus on them. The focus should be on Krishna alone. So, the final thing is mumukshatva. 6, absolute freedom from the bondage of ignorance. I want to get out of this material world. It does not mean that you are seeking for liberation. There are 4 kinds of liberations. One is salokya. Krishna lives on a particular planet, Golok Vrindavan, and your desire may be to go to that loka. Nothing wrong on that. But don't limit it to only loka, that I want to go and live on that particular planet. People, I was reading New York Times, and it was taken in the dark, where the police officers has a light from the cell phone, and he sees about 8 people are hiding in a cave, and they crossed the border from Mexico. You know, they have built a $1 billion wall. But these guys, they dig a hole underneath the fence. If this is the fence, they go and dig a hole underneath, tunnel, and they all come through that tunnel, and that tunnel opens in Texas. So everybody is coming to Texas, and they are trying to hide, from the local authority. Once they touch the land of opportunity, which is known as America, they are safe and sound. They say, wow, this is where I wanted to come. So devotees also say Salokya Mukti, means I want to go to the same planet as Krishna lives. So you will go, right? Just like a Mexican people touching the land of Texas, but they don't have any goal. So similarly, you may not have even goal either, if you're just looking for Salokya Murti. Some, they want to merge into Krishna, which is a Sayujya Mukti. Right? That is also doesn't helping anyway. And the Samipya, I want to live near the same neighborhood as Krishna lives. I can say, oh, he's next door, how is going to help you? Samipya Mukti, right? And then another is Sarsti. The Krishna has 6 kind of opulency. Shri, Shakti, Kirti, Kanti, Gnana, Vairagya, all that. All the money that Krishna has, I may have. Shakti, all the energy that Krishna has, I may have, right? People are dreaming. That is also a kind of mukti. All the opulences that Krishna has, people would like to have it. Yes, you can have that kind of liberation, but that is also not going to help you. If someone has $1 trillion in the bank, but he's on a ventilator right now because of COVID-19, right? What's the use of those $1 trillion? When he's going to help, he's hardly going to live for a couple of days, right? So, what's the use of getting all the opulences that Krishna has? So that Sarsti Mukti is also not good for it. For devotee, we should not be hankering for those liberations, different kind of muktis. But we should go to Golok Vrindavan to serve him. That's Krishna, I will massage your feet. I will apply to sandalwood. I will comb your hair. I will clean your bedroom. Whatever you can do, laundry, this, that. So many things you can do, seva. So, but you have to come to the temple and get the training, right? If here you cannot cook, what's the use? Because when you go up and you are dreaming that you are cooking for Krishna, it's not going to work. Right now you say, oh, I'm not going to cook. Same thing you will go when you go there, you will not feel like cooking for Krishna. If there is something broken or garbage or something lying on the floor, and if you don't pick up and don't clean, same thing will happen over there. Dishwashing, that's a major. Up to 2 o'clock at night, a Prabhu comes from flushing and is doing dishwashing in this temple. Very great service. Nobody wants to do that. But if you are not able to do that, and if you think that when I go up there and I will also do dishwashing, you will not be able to do that. Because this is the training place for a devotee, so that you can do all those services, and when you go up, back to Godhead, you will be able to do all those services willingly, and Krishna will accept it. So this is what our reading is all about, and we just mentioned today's reading was at home of Gaur Krishnadas and Bhagavati Devi Dasi, on occasion of the granddaughter Janaki Bhakti Mohi Dasi, daughter of Madhvi Devi Dasi, and they hosted Radha Krishna. We had a Arti, and I'm so sorry that there was some problem with the camera and live streaming, and that's not unusual. Every single day it happens. This morning I was speaking and it happened 3 times. Half an hour lecture was divided into 3 parts. So it's funny and it's very upsetting, but we have to live with the situation. And we cooked a wonderful feast, Rajbhog, behalf of them, and offered to Krishna. Also at 5:30, we offered the food from our sponsor and the family. We did this arti and offered to Krishna the incense, ghee lamp, water, hanky, and flower, chamar, etc. to Krishna on behalf of this Gaur Krishnadas family. And we are very thankful, we are indebted, and we pray for the whole family, and especially for the newborn baby. God may bless Janaki. It's a beautiful name of Mother Sita, wife of Lord Ramachandra. And we wrap up this particular session here. I will see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thanks for joining. Hare Krishna. You know how to shut this off? Gizel, if you touch it, it will just go. Is there any way to? Oh, yeah, he's here.